So one thing that got people very excited in the last week that really helped ADA start moving to the upside in terms of price was this filing for a grayscale ADA spot ETF. And that's a lot bigger deal than what people realize. We might be talking about potentially billions of dollars entering ADA in the near term, leading to tens to hundreds of billions of dollars in market cap. It's a very exciting thing. And that's, guys, that's not me speculating. That's just how liquidity works, right? But what's interesting here is institutional money is showing us a sign right now that some of these approvals may be a lot sooner than people are realizing, which means that we could actually see this help ADA price sometime in the near term. So we're going to talk about that in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below, hit that bell again. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So ADA at the time of filming this video, just to touch briefly on this, we're floating around 80 cents, kind of where we were at the time of my earlier video. Not a whole lot going on. US money hasn't woke up yet. It's 6:45 a.m. Central Standard Time. We'll see what happens over the course of the day here. But really what I want to go back to is BTC. The reason why I'm saying this is the last 12 days, we talked about BTC being sticky, not really making much in terms of movement. And there's a big reason why this has been the case. And it's because institutional money has quieted down in a big way, similarly to what we saw right at about the time of the launch of the Ethereum spot ETFs, which I'll get to this in just a moment. So let's talk about this ADA spot ETF in general. What kind of timeline are we looking at here? Well, the SEC's first deadline for ADA spot ETF is actually the 27th of March, 2025. So, just a little over a month and a half away. All right. Just about a month and a half away. And the SEC can choose to either approve, deny, or extend this. They can actually delay for up to 240 days, meaning that by October 8th, 2025, we will in fact have a yay or a nay in terms of an approval for an ADA spot ETF here in the US. So this is actually a very big deal. Now, what's interesting here is the SEC is now taking a very different approach when it comes to these spot ETF filings. And what I mean by that is, if you guys didn't see yesterday, the SEC has actually acknowledged both of the XRP spot ETF filing and the Doge spot ETF filings. And this is different because in the past, what they've mostly done is if they really didn't care, they would just deny before it even got to a review process. So they're actually taking a look at these spot ETF filings now, which is a big deal. Now, we haven't gotten the one for ADA yet. That's not surprising because the ADA one was filed post Doge and XRP spot ETF filing. So we just have to be patient. And I'm guessing that somewhere in the next week, we're probably going to see the ADA one acknowledged as well by the SEC. Now, what's interesting is how institutional money has been acting over these last 12 days. And what we've actually seen is this major drop off. This is glitching out right now, but what we've seen is this major drop off in terms of money, in terms of activity for addition or subtraction in terms of institutional players. And what we've consistently seen here is a similar trend to what we saw back around the time of the Ethereum spot ETF filing and approval. All right. So this took place all the way back in the middle of August. And why this is in fact so important is they did some reallocation at that time. Some people wanted to diversify. They wanted to take advantage of these new products that were coming into the space. We're probably going to see the same thing when we do get approvals from XRP, Doge, ADA, and many others. Believe it or not, institutional players do have interest in assets in this space. And what's interesting here is obviously with the developments in the Cardano ecosystem, the potential of the US Treasury being on Cardano, enterprise interest, things like that, it makes ADA an interesting product for institutional players. Yes, it's more speculative than something like BTC or Ethereum, but at the same point, it hasn't been realized in a big way yet in terms of potential. And that gives them opportunity, right? I'm not saying that this is going to get, $40 billion flowing into it like the Bitcoin spot ETF, at least not yet, right? But we're starting to see institutional interest ramp up in a big way. And they are in fact leaching out and expanding into these different products. So with this cool down now, it looks like they're actually prepping for some reallocation in case these products do get approved. Now, some people don't like the idea of an ADA spot ETF. Some people don't think we need institutional money. And what I have to say is this: institutional money is the thing that can separate you, basically is the difference between you being the number 9th asset overall and you being a top 3 asset overall, right? If XRP gets an institutional product and has institutional interest and ADA does not, XRP is probably going to stay up here, right? Believe it or not, institutional players are a necessary evil in this space. I'm not saying I like it, but there are big entities that want their piece of the pie. And right now, what we're seeing is who has interest in what products. And ADA is one of those products because it has the potential to become something that is used worldwide, that brings governments on chain, that enterprises utilize for infrastructure, right? Most of the use case for governments and enterprise, I had this question. Most of the use cases for governments and enterprise are going to be boring and nobody's going to care, but they are essential. It is what brings Cardano to the forefront of the blockchain industry. Okay. Now, I'm not saying that this approval is imminent. I'm not saying it's going to happen today, tomorrow, next week, next month, whenever, but it's going to happen a lot sooner than people realize because of this overhaul that's taking place in the SEC. Now, we may not get some of these approvals until the new commissioner is actually put in place. That is still ongoing. There hasn't been an official approval yet, but that will be coming a lot sooner than people realize. So what we might start seeing then again is billions of institutional money flowing into assets like ADA and XRP and other assets in the space. And you're really going to start to see this big separation amongst the top 10, where ADA will likely be a top 5 asset, where we'll likely see some of the higher inflows, where we'll likely see higher stability in terms of price. And that's what I think a lot of people are actually going to like. So that's just my thoughts on this. I do want to hear your guys' assessment. When do you think this filing or this approval is going to take place? What kind of impact could this have on ADA price? But have a great day. Show your love below. Let me know your thoughts. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.